Hello my love, welcome back to another video. In this video I will be talking all about how men and women are wired so incredibly differently and why we need to understand that we are different in all aspects, physiologically, biologically, psychologically, and how we can live in harmony so that we can have more fulfilling, better relationships, better sex, and less fighting. If you love all things subconscious rewiring and you want to have every single tool to rewire your brain, regulate your nervous system so that you can manifest and understand the science behind manifestations to manifest money and love, please head into the Neuro Manifestation link, watch the free masterclass in the link below, and share this with someone that needs to hear it. Because the truth is, when we understand the difference between men and women and we want to start changing our beliefs so you can understand it at a conscious level, but if you don't understand it at a subconscious level, then you can listen to it once and then it goes out in the ear and out the other. So if you want to make permanent and fast change in your life, it will start from within. It will start from rewiring your brain. Now, very exciting thing I want to talk about is the differences between men and women. Men and women are wired so incredibly differently. Men are wired to be hunters, to be the pursuers, to be the chasers, to be in the pursuit of things, right? When you have sex with a man, you are not giving anything, you are receiving. And so when you think about masculine and feminine energies, it's the same thing. When you're dancing salsa or ballroom dancing or bachata, you're not, as a woman, the one leading. You can be, but usually the man is the leader. Now that is masculine and feminine energies, and the reason why God built us like this is because we have strengths. We are supposed to coexist with each other, not against each other. And that's why we're so different. We're not the same. Men have their own strengths and women have our own strengths, and they are not the same strengths. And that's why we need each other, because then we can balance each other out. It's like yin and yang. Masculine energy, in a sense, is if you think about the swimming pool and you think about the container holding the swimming pool, where the feminine energy is the water, or the riverbed is the masculine energy and the water is the feminine energy, or the eggshell is the masculine energy and the egg yolk and the egg white inside is the feminine energy. We need each other, otherwise there'll just be a blob on the floor and it'll just be an empty shell. And when you look at understanding your own masculine and feminine energies, that understanding that we both, as men and women, hold those energies within us. So like, think about it like a percentage of energy that you hold within that. When you start to use a lot of masculine energy in your life, so say you start operating like a man, you're always working really, really hard and you work lots of hours, and then because you believe that you need to work really, really hard to make money, and that's what we've been programmed as society, especially myself. I grew up in a Western society, so I was like, I need to be like a man, I need to compete with men, I need to make as much money than men, and I was like, now I realize, like, why? You'll find that you start getting really exhausted. Men that you attract are very feminine because we attract our counterparts, right? Like, we are reflections of each other. So it's so important that you do this work, because when you understand this work, it will blow your mind, it will change your life. So some symptoms when you're too far gone in your masculine energy and it's not in your nature, it doesn't feel good for you. You feel exhausted, you feel overwhelmed, you're rushing everywhere all the time, you have gut issues, maybe you've got fertility issues, you got hormonal imbalances. All of this is just so far gone from your natural state of being, your feminine energy, which is more nurturing, and we have this ability to be a mother and be soft and emotional and nurturing. But when we start to act like a man, which, by the way, that was me for the entirety of my life, I started having certain traits of a man. I didn't feel safe to share my problems. I didn't feel safe to ask for help. I was just consistently operating like a man and feeling very independent and just struggling on my own. When I started stepping into my feminine energy and understanding that I can rest and I can relax and I can let God, I can let men provide for me, and stop feeling guilty about it and just allow it to happen, everything changed. And I know it's still changing, it's still enveloping, but as a woman, our strengths lie in being a woman. My identity has shifted so much, where I'm so excited to be a mom. I'm so excited to provide for kids, and create this safe space and a home and peace for the man that is ready for that. And the truth is, you do need to balance out these masculine and feminine energies in your life. If you're at work, if you run a business, you leave your masculine energy there. And then when you're home or when you're with a man, you can rest into your feminine energy. And it's allowing yourself to relax. It's allowing yourself to do stuff like listening to music and dancing and creating art and listening to music and just feeling and dropping into your body and cooking and creating stuff with your hands and baking. If you don't like those things, then don't do it, obviously. But if you enjoy doing those things, then allow yourself to enjoy it. Allow yourself to go hiking. Don't force yourself at the gym if you don't like lifting weights. That's so imprinted by men and so brainwashed by society to think that we need to operate like men. And we need to exercise 6 times a week every single day of the month, when we, as women, we lie on a 28-day cycle. We start up here on the first day, that's day 1 of our menstrual cycle. And then throughout the week, we have our follicular, ovulation, luteal phase. And as you start to live more in your cycle, you'll start to become more in tune with your body, knowing that, okay, on my ovulation phase, I have the most energy, I am the most turned on, I am ready to take on and so much energy for my business. I'm communicating more, my voice is softer, I glow better, I attract more. During my menstrual phase, I am relaxed. I don't take client calls, I'm not running my business, I'm relaxing, I'm taking care, I'm resting. So I'm very fortunate to be able to do that in my business, and now my period has been so incredibly regular, whereas just a couple of years ago, I lost it for an entire year. So I had bad acne and I was completely out of whack, completely out of sync with my body and with my own intuition, my own womb space. So wow, I'm so blessed that I have learned so much, so incredibly much, in order to come back home to my natural self. Another thing is that men, I want you to know that they also have different stages of development. So from typical pre-teen to teenage years, they're called what we call Prince. This is by Alison Armstrong, Keys to the Kingdom, if you haven't read it. Amazing book. So as the prince typically wants to have fun and adventure, and they just love having fun and adventure. So in this stage of their life, they would perhaps look for a partner that they can have a lot of fun with. Okay, so if you are dating a man maybe in his teenage years, or maybe you met him in high school or university, he's having a lot of fun. And then as they start moving more into from little prince to prince stage, then this stage of development is when they are ready to build their kingdom. So they are wanting to build their career, and they either want to look for a woman that they can build with, or they want to build the kingdom first and then find their woman. So it depends on the man. But typically the man, if they say they're not ready for any sort of relationship, they're not ready for a relationship. They need to be ready to be married in order for you to get married. So when a man says they're not looking for anything, just believe them. Make sure you find the man that wants marriage, that wants to settle down, that wants a relationship, that wants commitment. You want someone that wants a relationship or wants the same things that you do want. So as they start building in their career, just know that they're very single-handedly focused. Their brain is literally wired to focus at one thing at a time. They cannot focus on many different things like we can. Like I can be sitting here, I can be thinking about my dinner, and I can be thinking about what I need to finish, how I can finish my business for the day, and wear different hats and multitask, and I can be on the toilet and like answering DMs and doing all different things at a time. I'm sure you understand, as a woman, like we can multitask, we can talk and cook at the same time. Our brain is wired to be able to scan our environment, whereas men, they focus on one thing at a time. So when we distract them while they're working, they find it very hard to get back on track. So men are typically wired that way. They're wired to focus at one thing at a time. When you understand this, you can start creating more deeper connections with men. And when men talk, I want you to listen. I want you to not interrupt them, because the more we are able to listen and until they're finished talking, you can find that they actually have a lot to say, and then they start to feel heard and they start to feel seen, and then you find the best response that you can, because just through your presence, it's a gift, and that gift you can give to a man. It's just so beautiful, it's so juicy. letting him speak and not interrupting him. I know with your girlfriends you can just like talk and interrupt, but that's because we're women and we can talk like that, and it's fine. But as a man, let him speak, otherwise he won't feel safe to come and talk again. I want you to know that men just love feeling appreciated, love feeling respected. So making sure that you respect his thought process and appreciate everything that he does for you. Every time he like opens the door for you, or he buys you dinner, it's like, oh my god, thank you so much, babe, this makes me so happy. He buys you flowers, oh my god, thank you so much, that makes me feel like the most amazing woman, princess in the world. It makes me so happy. I love when you open the door for me. I love when you text me good morning. Just little things like that. I appreciate, I acknowledge you, and I think you're amazing. Literally hyping him up with your beautiful juicy words and your feminine energy. As men start to grow older, they don't want to feel obligated to do something. For example, as a man in his 40s, if you're forcing him to go to a musical and he hates musicals, it will do more harm for him to go than for him to just make you happy and go. It's almost like a disconnect between who he is and what he's doing. So if he's someone that doesn't like musicals and you're forcing him to go to musicals, if he goes to a musical, it will really disrupt him. So it's really doing him doing something that he does not want to do. And men form a lot of their beliefs and their opinions for over a long period of time. So whenever they feel opinionated about something, perhaps they feel like they've done a lot of work to form this opinion. And if they don't have an opinion about it, then they will typically say something like, I don't have enough information to form an opinion about it, and that's kind of frustrating. You want to feel like he's on your side, or you want to feel like he is always backing you up, but if he doesn't have enough information, he will not form an opinion around it. So that's why if men are fighting you on their opinions, because they've conjured up a lot of time and a lot of resources to form this opinion. Another thing is that as men start to grow older and as women start to grow older, our roles reverse. So as men were conquering the world in their career in the earlier stages of life, women were more nurturing and caregiving, and when they start having kids and start being that nurturer, they would start to want to, in the later life, become the one that conquers or goes out there and serves the world. Whereas the man will start to take more of a laid-back approach, and he'll start gardening or doing like really relaxing activities, and he'll start to want to mentor people to give back. So the roles start to tend to reverse during later stages of life, which I find very, very interesting. Understanding these differences between men and women, just know that when men want a problem solved, they look for a solution, otherwise they wouldn't be talking about it. If women have a problem, they just want to talk about it, but it doesn't necessarily mean they want a solution. They just want to talk about it, and talking about it makes us feel better. A good question to always ask your partner, telling your partner, hey, I would love next time if I'm coming to you with a problem or me just yapping, ask me, do I want a solution or do I just want to be heard and seen? Most of the time you just want to be heard and seen, but just that question alone will allow him to know, okay, this is what she needs right now. And communication is huge amongst both parties, knowing that we are wired incredibly differently, and the more you can understand how men and women are wired differently, the more we can live better lives together, and we can start to love better. It's gonna love so much better. So some books that I highly recommend that you get to start reading is obviously Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus. That's a beautiful book about the differences between men and women. Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. So that is about how to date using man's tactics, and that is by Steve Harvey. There's some, obviously, like I mentioned, The Keys of the Kingdom is a really great one, and then Alison Armstrong has another book called The Queen's Code, Getting to I Do, which talks about how to get relationships right as a woman, and she talks briefly about men and female dynamics. All these books will start to help you realize that men and women are wired incredibly differently, and the more that we can appreciate and understand each other, the happier lives we will live. I want you to write in the comment section one thing that you took away from this video, because that helps you cement it in your long-term memory, into your mind, and therefore if you teach someone else, the more it will store in your long-term memory as well. My love, make sure you get into the Neural Manifestation course at the early bird price before the price goes up. I love you so much. Thank you so much for being here and investing your time into yourself, into your future, into understanding that better relationships are just going to change your life. And I will see you in the next video.